No, I'm good.
I can move now on. I can give you space if you need space.
I'm good. Are you sure? Yeah, dirty lights.
Did you get my text? Recording already?
It's 7.
Hey, Judy.
How are you?
Good.
Good?
Practicing.
Oh, that's...
And I tried catching turtles. Yeah. How are you? Did you see Ruby? Something happened in the Here we are.
Is Linda making public comment too, or did you? Did Linda? Okay, good.
I'm asking whether publishing the events in the parking lot in the other newspaper. And where did they find publishing? And then they say, you can put a bag out of your sign so you can use your parking spot.
So, thanks for giving me the extra chair because I like to agenda. Thank you.
Absolutely. Like I said, I know. Thank you.
You're very great. You're a very gracious person. You know I like you, right? I'm a fan.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Dupage Township Supervisor and Board of Trustees for Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. Daryl, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, you have all the votes for quorum.
Trustee Braxton.
Here.
Trustee Ransom. Here. Trustee Savage. Trustee Township. Here. Supervisor Marshall.
Here. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second? I'll second it. Is there any discussion on the agenda there? Hearing none?
Wait,
There's a correction they made. It shows September 15th, it says 17th. I'm sorry. Was it? Okay. I'm all done.
Would you please call the roll for?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Township. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. Next section is public comments, and the first one is Judy Weatherly. Why don't you take the mic away?
He skipped the approval of minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting August 20, 2024. comments, corrections, or anything on the minutes? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Gratian. Aye. Trustee Townsend. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. Now we get to the public comment. Could you get the motion back?
Thank you for accommodating me. I have a question for you. In what newspapers do you publish your financial statements that need publishing? And how are you going to be publishing the bids for the expansion on the parking lot, which I understand you are putting together to go out? The bids for the parking lot, the expansion of the parking lot, where are you publicizing that, in what newspapers, so that minority companies and smaller companies have an opportunity to bid? And then the last thing, and don't kill the messenger, because that's what I am. On days that you are not going to be here, Supervisor Marshall, could you please put a bag or something over your sign so that a senior can use your parking spots without parking on the street and having to get their walkers out? Several seniors have already utilized your spot. And if you had a bag over your sign that day, that would help announce that the spot is available. Thank you.
What newspaper is it?
So all bids are publicized not only on our website under public notices, which is highlighted in red in the menu, but they are also publicized on an application called Demand Star, and they are publicized in the Herald newspaper. And that is financial reports as well as bids in the Herald News. That is our only local newspaper.
Is that the Aurora Herald News?
No, that's the Joliet Herald, part of Will County.
On where?
Joliet Herald News, Will County.
Well, I am a longtime subscriber of that newspaper, and I've yet to see the bid in it. And I do read the legals.
Well, I would encourage you to do a FOIA request to the clerk, and she'd be happy to provide you with a copy.
Okay, thank you.
Next on the list is Ms. Ellis.
Good evening. I'm here today, I'm here today to still represent myself and other homeowners in Town Center Park and the not wanting the food pantry built in the location that was purchased by Dupage Township, and wondering what new developments or any of the village requirements have been met in order to move it forward, or is it on pause, or just what is the situation with the food pantry? My concern again is not the fact that improvement of the food pantry needs to take place, but I do feel like making the comments that have been made a bigger or larger facility on a smaller lot does not make sense. And the viability and improvements necessary to improve the Romeoville location would be excellent. The people of Romeoville really appreciate having that facility there, and they enjoy working and being able to allow people who are in need, which is not only just Bolingbrook, but Romeoville and surrounding areas, the ability to come there and utilize what is available. So that's my comments for tonight, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jackie Raymond.
I need to see if anybody can tell me what's the progress on the food pantry. obviously, I was wondering if, you made space in your backyard here. I'm just saying, you know.
Well, my backyard borders on the Bowhunters Club, and there's a huge 34 acres there, so I guess we could put it there.
Yeah, then how about it? Why don't you, you know, as a village, and, try to put it there, you probably would have a better chance.
Well, Ron is a member of the Bowhunters Club, original member, so maybe we should contact them to see if they give us some land over there.
How about it? I think it's a good idea. Anyways, just wanting to know, thanks.
There's been no movement.
Anybody wants any comments that hasn't signed up yet? If not, we will close the public comment section. The supervisor report. We have a summary of the survey we did, and we said we would discuss it at this meeting. So I'd like to have Mr. Deval come up and who did the survey.
Would you like? Sorry. Hello. Yes, Supervisor, would you like me to go to the full results or just take it out high level in the survey? What would be your preference?
Well, could you go over the results and everything, and then see if there's any questions from the board?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm assuming you've gone through the survey that we gave out last time.
I believe we all did.
Okay.
Very good. Just to provide some context behind the survey. This was a phone survey conducted August 12th through the 15th by professional live interviewers. We reached out to 304 residents of Dupage Township. Those are the number of completed interviews that were taken. Just to provide context around 304 for some size of the township. A statewide survey typically has between 600 to 800 respondents. National surveys are around 1,000. So statistically, it's a very sound number of residents that we spoke to. The overall margin of error in the survey is 5.5%, so that's plus or minus up to 5.5%, and that's at 95 comments. The survey lasted about 8 minutes, which was a fairly comprehensive way of reaching out to residents. The survey covered aspects like familiarity with township services, evaluations of various township services, interest in the referendum that will be on the ballot regarding the food pantry, and some ways of discussing some of the benefits of the food pantry and gathering residents' reactions to that. The tail end of the survey, of course, had our various demographics that we ensure we have representatives in the local community. Going into the results, starting off with familiarity and satisfaction with the services, we noted that approximately half the residents reported being somewhat familiar with the services offered by the township. That didn't indicate that our population was unaware of some of the available resources. Familiarity with these services primarily was driven around awareness, actually, of the food pantry and the services offered in this building, senior center, both of which received very high levels of satisfaction from the residents. Length of residency played a significant role in awareness of the services available by the township. Those who lived in the community for over 10 years had a significantly higher level of awareness of township services. Residents, I would say older, that have, attained 65 years of age, particularly senior women, are most familiar with township services. So I also say while residents are generally unfamiliar with many of the other services, those who are aware of the service tend to express pretty high levels of satisfaction with the services that they are aware of. One of the recommendations maybe out of that is the township would consider to more aggressively promoted services, particularly the lesser known offerings such as the school supplies assistance, transportation services, and some financial aid programs. Generally, as residents become more aware of it more, and they are able to experience it, the higher levels of their satisfaction are. So it's not indication for performance of the services, it's more of a factor of awareness. So regarding the actual food pantry question, in the survey we presented the question as it would appear on the map. So residents overwhelmingly supported the food pantry in the survey, just a snapshot in time period when we surveyed in August. 77% expressing support for it. That includes really high intensity support, actually. 52% indicated that their support was strong. And the opposition to it was, I would say, minimal in comparison. It's only 13% opposing the initiative and 6% of those were strongly opposed. So that's a fairly broad reading of the support for it, and it's strongly skewed towards support. So some of the reasons behind that, though, I think is important to touch on. So accessibility for the disabled and handicapped, that's a universally important reason for the new pantry location for residents, particularly those who are initially not too strongly supportive once they learn that it is going to help those residents that are handicapped or disabled. That's really the common reason to support it. There's some interesting regional differences in the results as well. Residents in Naperville, they seem to be less aware that there's a great need for a food pantry and some of the other aspects of it, like job training services, particularly in the Orlando area as well. They're less familiar overall with the current facility and less familiar with people experiencing food insecurity in the community in general. And that's really a driver of supporting the food pantries. There's over a quarter of the population who experience food insecurity themselves or know someone in the community in the past. And those people very strongly support the food pantry. Interestingly, residents of Romeoville might benefit from understanding the new pantry accessible to those that are handicapped and disabled. These residents are as aware, or if not more, food insecurity in the community compared to the rest of the township, but they may not fully understand why the facility might be moving forward. That's the main goal of the survey. I'm happy to answer any specific questions.
Do you have any questions?
One thing I did notice here, question is observation, is that question about familiarity, one of the initial questions here about familiarity with the township, and it's roughly half and half. We've learned that since we expressed an interest in our own personal involvement with the township and leading up to our campaign for office 4 years ago and our tenure here. Still a significant population, and apparently almost half are in the township exists, or not familiar with what it does or its role in the area or its history. So this confirmed, we suspected that anyway. This data confirmed.
And I wouldn't say that what you find here is unusual. I've surveyed townships throughout Illinois, and it's very typical. Unless there's a very aggressive communication program in place, this is very typical results.
Yeah.
I had a question, and it was just around the amount of time that was allowed for the survey and the number of people that were reached. To start off, did you have a set number that you were going to reach within that time frame, and did you reach that amount of people? That's my question.
Very good question. So one of the reasons why the survey was in the field, so to speak, while we were collecting data for as many bases we did, is make sure we did an accurate representation of the
Can you speak up just a little bit
population of the township, that would be the appropriate number for me to interviews to get a statistically reliable sample.
Based on the population, you determine the number of people that you need to speak with. And the time frame plays the difference.
Right.
Just the 3 days. August the 12th to the 15th, is that?
Yes, that's correct. And multiple times throughout those days.
Oh, so you could call them back with information. Is that what you're saying?
Well, correct, yes. We could be, by law, we may up to at 3 attempts on the sample. We have out between certain time as well. When we do include daytime dialing and we do the attempts and we do messages. We give people in water.
Thank you.
Brady, do you have a question?
I do, yeah. So in the methodology package, interviews were conducted in proportion to both gender and regional shares of the township. So did you split the calls and the attempts on residents 3 ways between Bolingbrook, Naperville, and Romeoville, or how did you determine, the correct amount of people to call from each town?
Yes, that's a great question. So on the top report, I think, I'm not sure if that's in your packet, the survey was broken down by 3 groupings, Bolingbrook and Blue Ridge, Romeoville, Plainville, Lockport, Lamont, and Naperville. Those were all called in proportion to their size of the township by population. So we had a representation there, and then within quota sampling, we made sure we had balanced representation between age and also gender within the region. So those are nested quotas. That's kind of where some of the magic of survey happens. If you don't get that right, you can't be represented in your results.
We do have a survey on the website, don't we?
I believe that was put up right after the last meeting.
So if anybody would like to see the survey and the public, all they have to do is go to our website and you can find it on our website. Any more questions or comments on it? If not, thanks very much.
To their cost.
There is no, just wanted to show, we participated in the Pathways Parade and with a float and one of our buses. And we had approximately almost 60 seniors in the float and in the bus. And we had about 40 some that actually danced along the Pathways Parade. And this one was the first place for adult walking or marching. So we got first place there. And the second one was the judges award for the entire parade. So we got 2. These seniors were very, very excited. It was absolutely fantastic. They practiced for like almost a month before, going on. And they would go and dance every so often and in front of the judges then. So just wanted to let you know that.
Are we able to get those shirts?
What?
They have those shirts. I thought the shirts were great.
Oh, the
Seniors
seniors
rock, and it was a rocking chair with a lion through it.
You did anything.
So I just thought that was very clever. And would love to have you with shirts.
Was it in the middle first?
Okay.
So I'd like to point out that it was Linda and Bob Martin and also Roberta and also what? Carla. She was the taskmaster because she was the one that put him in the line, making sure that it was straight and asking that. And of course, how quick the float and decorated was Bob's, was it brother-in-law or brother? Okay, so I'd like to thank all of them. They did a fantastic job because for the 2 weeks before the parade, I kept on asking, well, okay, is it going to get done? Is it going to get done? Is it going to get done? And they kept on saying, don't worry. So it was done. I was especially worried about the tires on the float. It was that thing that you sit over at the food pantry for 3 years or something like that without moving. So I was concerned about the tires. But everything went well. Okay. And the seniors had a blast. Okay.
So,
And so we.
it was great weather too.
There is no old business that I'm aware of. So we'll go to the action items. And the first item is discussion and possible approval of the pathway light LED upgrade. And what we're talking about is right now we have on all the lights on the pathway, we have basic ballasts and fluorescent lighting. And we want to change over to the LED, which is going to be much more economical, and actually it would give out more lumens as far as the pathway. And we had 2 bids on it, okay? And which are the 2 bids?
Bobo Electric and A1 Restoration or AI Restoration, I can't remember. Bobo came in significantly less, and that would be recommended.
So we recommend that we go with Volvo. And what is the total price on the?
It's 150 times 14 plus the light bulbs, and both vendors had the same, we were providing the light bulbs, that was part of the package, so, let me do my math here. It looks like $2,100 for labor, and I think it was $480
Something for the lights.
or $60 for the light bulbs.
So I entertain a motion that we go with Volvo Electric for the pathways.
So moved.
Any discussion?
I have questions on that, Jessica. So if you look at the different bids, the AI is just so much more than they're offering, and that's why it's there. Does Bobo understand that? So like AI says that they'll remove, and replace, right? Is Bobo, are they offering that too, or is it not here? Yeah? Okay.
They're local, they have removed the items that are for the fluorescent lighting and installed items that are for the LED lighting. And they know there's 14 pathway lights. And the reason this was brought to our attention, one of the lights doesn't work. One, right over there.
But of course, the LEDs are much more economical and everything is perfect.
Yeah, we'll save a considerable amount on our electric, just like we did when we switched all the other bulbs.
Any other questions, comments? If not, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Trustee Brett.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Thompson. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. The second item is discussion and possible approval to change credit card vendors from Dupage to Dupage Treasurer's Office for lower fees. All these fees that we collect for all the trips and everything at the senior center, we have to pay a certain percentage to the processing thing. And the treasurer's office, Illinois State Treasurer's Office, has a program for doing that, and the fees are much lower. And also they're less hassle. So we recommend that we change over to the to the Illinois State Treasurer's Office with the lower fees. I would entertain a motion to do that.
So,
Any discussion, any questions on it? or anything?
Just curious as to why we're just signing up the treasurer's office's fees for Lord. We never.
We were under a contract, so we only had a window of time where we could get out of the contract. This is the window.
Oh, and that contract we were under, we had that for,
This would be our third year.
I don't think the Treasurer's Office has had this program.
oh, so it is for the treasurer's office?
Yeah, I just want to be clear, the treasurer's office, we can come and go with their service at any time. As an elected board, you really shouldn't be signing any contracts right now that are more than a year because of how the election's going to turn out, right? So typically, you do contracts that are 3 years or less. So that you're not binding the next elected official. It might be up to you. Might be different. So that's why you go with a lower number of years and why we went with 3 to begin with and why we're looking at the treasurer's office not only for the lower fees, but the fact that you can leave them at any time, there's no penalty. And there's some other benefits too.
Any other questions? If not, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Ratchford.
Aye.
Trustee Ratchford.
Aye.
Trustee Township. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Okay, next is the approval for the emergency repair of the firewall, the computer firewall. I'm not familiar with that question. What firewall are we talking about?
So we have a firewall in each of our buildings that stops cyber thieves from coming in and creating mayhem. The firewall has a license to it. The license expired. When the license expired, our computers no longer work. So we had to renew the license in order to be able to gain access to our computers again. This is a part of our security system to make everything safe. I know, I don't want to speak too much, but I know a few years ago, some nefarious individuals got into the township's elected officials' email and then read the website. Just reading them, and they didn't have a firewall at that time or any sort of security protections. Again, I'm speaking about stuff that happened before I worked here, so slightly off. But there was a problem. Emails were hacked and we don't really see any of that happening here, so we have a firewall. And that was in place when you all were elected. We've kept it in place. It's just the license expires every so often. We have to renew it. And there was just some communication glitches with our current IT company. And even though I notified them that it was expiring, they didn't respond back to me and tell me, hey, you can renew this on your own, until after, of course, it became a critical situation. But either way, it wasn't like we were going to go out and buy new firewalls. It's just an upgrade to the license. The equipment itself works fine. It just needed a refresh, an upgrade. Terry, I know you do a lot of IT,
So, I was going to ask, so how long was that initial? Was it a contract? Was the firewall to be?
you buy a license, like, you buy a license.
Right, like Adobe.
We buy Adobe now, and we buy it month to month. We bought the Adobe Creative Package so that we could design our newsletter ourselves. That was a year-long license. So this happens to be, if I'm not mistaken, anything on the paperwork that you were given, I believe it's a 3-year license. Yes.
We know when it's going to expire, at the time, this won't.
And we will be notified going forward. It was our former IT company that was being notified, not us directly. And that's the difference.
How much was the cost of the repair?
3,000 and some change, they all have a copy of the receipt.
I entertain a motion to approve the emergency repair.
Second.
Any discussion, any questions, anyone? If not, please call the roll.
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Township. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. Next item is discussion and possible approval of the 2024-2025 liability insurance renewal. And how much is that, the cost?
Sure, we went up 7.28%, and as you know, we use a broker who shops our policy around, hence the number the lowest price. It went up 7.28%, it went from 89,443 to 94,037. It talks, I sent you guys along the supplemental memo from Mike Alicia of Alliance, which by the way, that's the same insurance broker that not only the village will or the Romeo will use, but also the county will. The property values increased 17%, payrolls increased 6%, workers' compensation claims 22,000. In 2023, there was one in 21 for 15,000. There were some employment practices claims that haven't rolled off yet, but next year probably will. I mean, that's always a good thing when our losses roll off. It does help quite a bit. But, and we are still not doing the cyber insurance.
Okay, motion to renew the liability insurance. What's the name of the company that we?
We use ICRMT and IMPG does the property, aka the only problem over there, and ICRMT does our workers' comp.
Motion to approve the renewal of the liability insurance with those two companies.
So move.
Any discussion, any questions or anything? If not, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Township. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Next item is discussion and possible approval of an update to our financial procedure and credit card policy for the Dupage Township. To include info on cash responsibility. That was from the auditor that they wanted us to make some changes to that. And very minor changes, just the deposit, I think, of cash and everything like that. You've seen it. Okay, motion to approve those changes.
Second.
Now, is there any question, discussion, or?
It's good that we're doing this as we're doing to acknowledge and take care of checks that go uncash. We've been practicing doing that.
No, that wasn't the part, that was it, is that iCash thing?
This is the iCash program. It's a state law, and the auditor brought it to our attention. If we have checks that go uncashed for 3 years, and we have not done the reach the individual, we are to turn over those funds to the state of Illinois to the iCash program. And then when people go to an iCash event and pop in their name, they may get money. And it's not just, it's individuals, it's businesses, but we're making I guess you'd call it a last ditch effort, to try to contact everybody. Because you get a list on the bank reports of all the outstanding checks. So we're trying to contact individuals, get them your money now, so they don't have to go through iCash to get their funds. And then anybody that we don't have, that we haven't gotten in their money by mid-October, they'll be a part of our November report to iCash as we turn over the funds.
Then how much outstanding money do we have? It's not that.
It's a couple $1,000.
So it really isn't that much, but
We
it's
didn't have a procedure in place, now it's official in our book.
I would entertain a motion to change the procedure to for the iCash. Okay?
We're not looking to change it, we're just going
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have a procedure for ICAS because we weren't aware that we were, of the state law. So, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton.
Aye.
Trustee Ransom.
Aye.
Trustee Townsend. Aye. Supervisor Marshall.
Aye. And this time, I entertain a motion to go into executive session, to discuss release of executive session minutes, which, every so often we have to go over them to decide whether we're going to release or not. So I entertain that motion.
Sorry.
Okay, and also to discuss real estate acquisition.
Oh, one motion?
We already voted on.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Remove the second.
Look at mine, I wonder.
Any discussion? If not, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Braxton. Trustee Ransom.
Aye.